Welcome to Agape. Agape, where love reigns supreme. In other words, the awareness and acceptance of your wholeness. The awareness and acceptance of the wholeness of others. The awareness and acceptance of life. That's love. And if you notice, there's one thing in those ways I've expressed it that's not there. There's never judgment. The second judgment comes in, love does not exist. So remember that. Well, I conditionally love them. No such thing. You either love or you don't love. And the thing we talk about Agape is everything begins and ends with you. So everything begins and ends with self-love. We basically teach the science of mind, written by Ernest Holmes, and I'm a practicing Zen Buddhist. In other words, I understand that life is an illusion and that I'm part of the oneness of all that exists. And with science of mind, I'm able to use the tools within me to create a better illusion to live in. But I remain unattached to the illusion, and that's the secret. So with that, let's take a few moments and let's just center ourselves before we begin today's lesson. Bring yourself to a comfortable seated upright position. Hands gently resting on your lap, eyes closed. All awareness on your breath. Let's take 3 deep breaths in together. Breathe in, and now breathe out. Again, breathe in, breathe out. And one more time, breathe in and breathe out. Continue to focus on your breath. And realize that a breath is not complete without an inhale and an exhale. The breath is always balanced. When the breath is not in balance, we have disease showing up. We can't breathe, we can't oxygenate, or we don't exhale enough of the CO2. That's when disease comes in. So we realize that the breath tells us that life is all about balance. That life is balance. And the more we see that balance, the more we're in control of our experience. And so we come into this world now with an awareness that life is not one-sided. There are always 2 sides. Just like a coin. Where do we meet the divine? In that point between the 2, on the edge. Where we're not breathing in, we're not breathing out. It's that point right there. It's the point between the thoughts, between this thought and that thought. It's a point within. That's the infinite. That's the divine. And we get there every now and then to recharge, to rejuvenate, and to remember that we're not the illusion, but we're the truth, the observer, the consciousness, the awareness beneath the illusion. And so having implanted within our minds a new idea or a continuation of an idea going deeper that we are awareness, we're now more able to receive whatever is going to be said. We're able to receive it at a level of understanding that will benefit us in this moment. So I know this moment of silence has been beneficial to me and to anyone who is listening. And so I now say, start to feel your body. Bring your awareness back into it. Start to move your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and welcome back to now. Today, I'm going to talk about balance always wins. The truth about pleasure and pain. You see, you can chase pleasure. You can run from pain. But you can't outrun balance. Life will always bring you back to center. And it's your choice whether you go willingly or kicking and screaming. This is something I learned studying a lot with Dr. John DeMartini, where he said, life will support you equally and challenge you equally as well. You are always supported and equally challenged. You will always be given pleasure, and you will always have the experience of pain. It's part of the cycle. It's part of the awakening that you are not the pain, that you are not the pleasure. You are that which is observing it. Life is always in balance, and that's true even when it looks chaotic. If you think about it right now, there's a lot of chaos in the world, and there's a lot of good going on at the same time. Even when you feel out of control, life is in balance, because when you feel out of control, you don't see that you're being supported at the same time you're being challenged. Even when the world seems unfair and your emotions are too big to hold, life is in balance. I know the times that I've been let go from corporations. I did 3 times in my corporate career that I was let go from corporations. And man, it just seemed unfair. It seemed like I was a victim. And yet it was the universe just bringing me into a greater experience of life. It was saying, you've outgrown this. It's time for you to step into greater. So pain, suffering are signals from the universe. There's so much more that you're not experiencing, but you're stuck where you are, and you need to make a change. You see, underneath everything, balance is being restored constantly, intelligently, and precisely. And most of the time, you don't realize it. Think about this. When your body's resting, it's in homeostasis. When your body's in stress, it's got disease going to come into it. So when you're in balance, that's when healing takes place. You see, the thing is, we think that we can just be in a balanced state. But balance is not dynamic. Is dynamic. It's not static. It's not stillness, but it's movement. How are you moving? It's like a heartbeat, a breath, the tides. The heart has a pump in and a pump out. The breath has a breath in and a breath out. The tides, the waves come in, the waves go out. There's movement there, but that movement is in balance. There's an equal in and an equal out. It's the same thing in relationships. There's a give and a receive and a give. And when it's out of relationship, when one is feeling they're giving all the time, and the other is just taking, and there's no give from the other, not good. One of the things I know about my mom was a giver, constantly, didn't know how to receive, refused to receive. Said, don't you ever buy me a present. Still did. She would tell me to take it back. But she was closed off. Her heart was closed off on receiving. She didn't value herself enough. What do you think my mom died of? Breast cancer, of course, a closed heart. She knew it when she died. We talked about it. It wasn't until the end of her life that she finally opened up and received, and boy, did it feel good to give to her. It felt so good to give to her. You see, balance is the constant adjustment. It's a constant. It equals an intelligent design. In other words, divine intelligence is always going to naturally bring everything back into balance. It's like the seasons. You've got winter, then spring, then summer, and fall. They're in balance. There's a reason for 4 seasons. You see, we've mistaken and said balance is a destination. No, balance is not a destination, but it's a relationship. It's a relationship with life. It's about being in life and being in the ebb and the flow, the yin, the yang, the give, the receive. The great misstep we make is that we try to game the system. That's right, we try to fool the system, which is unfoolable. We go and what do? We chase pleasure. I'm going to be happy all the time. I'm going after this. I'm going to get that boat. I'm going to get that yacht. I'm going to get this new car. I'm going to get me a new woman. I'm going to get me a new man. Whatever it is, We're chasing pleasure. Oh my God, give me some of that new drug. Oh my God, I got to go get some ayahuasca. We're chasing pleasure. And no matter how much we chase it, it's never enough. And if we're not chasing pleasure, what are we doing? We're trying to avoid pain. They're pretty much the same thing, right? We're trying to avoid pain. We're trying to what? Avoid what is. And then what we might do is we numb discomfort. This is where a lot of people drink, a lot of people do drugs, a lot of people just mentally tune out to numb the discomfort. Those are the three things that we tend to do. These are the great missteps: chasing pleasure, avoiding pain, and numbing ourselves. In other words, we're not willing to fully experience what is. If we understood, if we fully experience what is and let it move through us and let it go, we could be in the new moment and make a new choice. But we don't do that. We continually do the chasing, the avoiding, and the numbing. You see, the harder we chase pleasure, the more pain we invite. The more we resist pain, the longer it stays. You ever heard it said, what you resist, persist. And when you're chasing something, you're seeking, you're not a finder. You're seeking. That's why like people say, I'm a spiritual seeker. Well, not a good thing to say. Maybe you should say is, I'm a spiritual finder. In every moment I find new awareness. That's different. That's completely different. Here's the key thing. Pain and pleasure are not good or bad, but they are both teachers. They both reveal imbalance. They both are there to help restore alignment. And they both guide you home. Home to where? Your truth. The inner being within you, your soul. That level of awareness that sees everything. In other words, the Christ consciousness, the Buddha consciousness, the Krishna consciousness. The consciousness that you have a body, have a mind, have emotions, but they're not who you are. You're that which is untouchable and infinite. That's the great realization. That's the ultimate. So, all the time I've developed this thing about, I don't choose to be happy all the time, but I choose to have a sense of well-being. So what is then true well-being? Well, it's not smiling all the time. If you notice in my talks, if you've been watching me, I smile a lot, but I don't smile all the time. And it's definitely not perfect conditions. There'll be perfect conditions every once in a while. You know, otherwise they're just, perfection is what a judgment, isn't it? It's true well-being equals, and I got this word, and I don't know why I used this word, but I did. It's okayness. True well-being is okayness. My wife says I'm constantly making up words. Well, I don't know if I made this one up, but this is the one that came to me. And true okayness is knowing balance is working through you. All the time you understand that the balance is working through you. You're sick, you know your immune system is now working to bring you healthy. You're in joy, you know that you've got that joy, now you're going to release it and there'll be a greater contrast. It's also true okayness is peace from trusting the rhythm. In other words, can you trust the wave will come in and the wave will go out? The pleasure will come in, the pain will go out. You got to trust it's the flow of life. You see, now this is a long statement, and I know it's long, and I thought about breaking it up into multiple slides, and I said no. Well-being is the state of experiencing balance, vitality, and harmony in the body, mind, and spirit. Just think about that first sentence. Well-being is the state of experiencing balance, vitality, and harmony in the body and mind and spirit. That's the divine experience. It's not just the absence of illness or stress, but it's the presence of clarity, purpose, and inner peace, and the ability to respond to life with resilience, whatever life is bringing to us. True well-being arises when your physical health, your emotional state, your mental focus, and your spiritual awareness align to create a sense of wholeness and fulfillment in the present moment. For me, that's the ultimate. When the mind, body, emotions, and spirit align in a moment to have you, so that you experience that full, complete sense of wholeness, oh, the ultimate experience. The ultimate. That to me is a sense of well-being. That's embracing and accepting all of life and knowing that all of life has made you whole and complete. So what practices can you do to live in balance? Number one, develop a sense of awareness before you react. This is one of the things I love about meditation. It allows you to take 3 seconds to pause, and you're able to ask a question: what would love do? What would be in my highest interest to do? So you're aware, so you're not reacting, you're responding. You can ask this question: what is this moment trying to restore? And if you think about it, you'll understand what the answer is. It's about the practice of embracing the full spectrum. In other words, embracing all of life. Feel it all, both the joy and the sadness. That's what life is about. I believe the purpose of life is to experience everything so fully, completely, that it's beyond measure. And then the more you do that, the greater the experience of joy, the greater the experience of sadness. You'll have both. You have to know both to experience one or the other. But when you're in balance, you just feel them all because you know they're temporary. This too shall pass. You let life breathe through you. Inhale effort, exhale surrender. You see, it's about putting out effort at times. At other times, it's about surrendering to what is and not doing anything. One of the things that one of my teachers taught me many, many years ago, when you're a minister and people have a lot of problems, 90% of the time, do nothing. The problems will resolve themselves simply by the person talking to you. An answer will occur to them in the next so often that they'll get their own answer and you don't even have to answer. I've learned that, and I found that that has served me so well. Also, when you're breathing, inhale passion and exhale control. Are you doing what you love? Do what you love. And if you have to do something you don't love, love what you do. Because it's who you bring to what you're doing that, man, that's everything. Some days I'm cleaning the basement where I live because I'm the one down there all the time. When I do it, I do it with such joy because it's where I function, and I love a balanced, clean, and organized area. So it brings me great joy, even though I don't like to clean. But I'm very good at it because my mother taught me. She used the white glove. In our basement at home growing up, on Saturday, we had to clean the basement. After we were done, she would take the white glove, and if there was dirt, it didn't go out on Saturday. Yeah, that's the type of mother I had. The balance of that is, I appreciate cleanliness. So here's some questions that you might consider to reflect on. Where am I out of balance? Where am I gripping too tightly? Where am I forcing instead of flowing? Think about that. How valid it is. You're out of balance. You'll know it because you're one extreme or the other. So right now, when you look at the liberals, they're out of balance. And you look at the conservatives, they're out of balance. Most of the people really want the liberals and the conservatives to come into the center. What? To come into balance. Then you got to ask, what am I gripping onto tightly? Are you holding on to the past and you don't want it to leave? Are you trying to hold someone in your life that doesn't want to be in your life? Are you trying to force things to happen instead of flowing with what life is bringing you? Man, there's a lot of pain coming in those things if you're doing that. These are great questions. I'd write these down or memorize them so that when you're starting to feel that emotion, you can ask yourself these questions and come up with your own answer. You see, life is not punishing you. It's rebalancing you. That's what life is. It's all about balance. So we end where we begin. You can chase pleasure. You can run from pain, but you can't outrun balance. Life is always going to bring you back to center. And it's your choice whether you go kicking, screaming, or willingly. Remember, no matter who you are, where you are always at choice. I would invite you to choose to see the world in balance and embrace it all and have them create the most experienced life ever. One that you are proud to live in a sense of what? In a deep sense of well-being. Make it a great week. Much love. So I want to thank you for taking time to listen to me. We at Agape offer many things to serve you. If you go to agapespiritualcenter.com, go to the website, click on the link that says sign up for my daily thought and weekly newsletter, and you'll get some good information, all free. While you're there, go to the calendar and you're going to see we offer things every day. I do a talk every day. I do a guided meditation online every day. You're all welcome to join. You'll find that classes are about to start. And so you can sign up and take a class. That's where we do the really deep work, is in the classes. They're small and intimate. And then while you're there, practice the law of giving and receiving. Click on the giving tab. Make a donation so that we can continue to bring this work to all the people out there who are seeking to become empowered and willing to take personal responsibility for their lives. I'm grateful that you took the time. And one last favor, like this video, share this video, make a comment on this video. It helps the social media platforms to spread it even